Welcome to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. Jackie, a Big Blend radio podcast that features Dr. Jacqueline Eubany, a board-certified cardiologist and electrophysiologist and author of the best-selling book, Women and Heart Disease, The Real Story. Welcome, everybody. You know July is here, and it is sunny, hot, warm, hot, and hot again. It is summer, and it is also National Picnic Month. It's National Parks and Rec Month. Don't tell Dr. Jackie, but it's also National Ice Cream Month. But anyway, I don't think she wants us to talk about ice cream too much. But we are going to talk about Heart Healthy Summer. And Dr. Jackie, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Summer is kind of a cool thing, other than it's hot. But I think we've got to remember to have fun, especially parents that suddenly their kids are home 24/7. But it's a good time to get together with families and have barbecues together and have, those kinds of movie nights under the stars. Isn't all
Yes.
that good stuff good for your heart when you take time
Yes.
out?
Yes. Taking time out, spending time with your friends and family is always, good. I mean, of
Mm,
course, if it's not so stressful. But yeah, I think summer times are usually, times that you create memories with families that are long lasting. So I
mm.
definitely encourage that.
And the activity, because depending on where you live, right? I know if you're
Yeah.
in the Midwest, you're off in the lakes, you're off hiking. If you're in the desert, you're probably hiking early in the morning. But I think the other part is activity. That's a good thing, right, for our hearts.
Oh, absolutely. Activity is always good for your heart. Like I always mention, the American Heart Association recommends a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate physical activity a week. And that can be accomplished really in a day of, playing outdoors with, family and friends.
Yeah, going hiking, playing frisbee in the park, you know, or just
Yeah.
even walking, right?
Or just
Um,
even walking. Yeah.
yeah, kayaking. Ooh, yeah. I love kayaking. That's a good summer activity
It
because you got the
really is.
water, you,
Yes.
you're moving. It's
Yeah,
good
it
for your
really
upper
is.
body, right? Is that good for cardiovascular though, as
Yes, it
much?
it is. Yeah, when you move your upper body, you tend to work your heart out a little bit more. So that's a good moderate physical activity. So anything that
Mm,
can really raise your heart rate above what it is at baseline, it's
mm.
a good thing.
And so like swimming would be like a nice gentle
Swimming is
thing to do.
excellent. Yeah, swimming is excellent. I always say swimming for those who, have bad knees, can't run and do those kinds of exertion when they have knee, hip problems. Swimming is a great option.
Mm. And it feels good, especially when it's hot, get out
Yes,
in the
yeah.
pool, get out in the ocean. Now, what
Yeah.
about heat? Can, you know, hot weather affect someone who has dealing with heart disease, or can it affect, you know, just even I mean, can it affect you even if you're teetering on heart disease? Can being in extreme heat get to you?
Yes, absolutely. When it's really hot, warm or hot outside, as it's going to get in certain parts of the country, you can develop heat stroke, which is bad. It can result in you ending up in the hospital with all sorts of problems. So when it's really hot outside, it's probably not a good idea to, try to do heavy exertion or moderate exertion, because that can definitely lead to heat strokes.
Mm,
So I know we always encourage people to go out and do physical activity, but I would say if it's really hot outside, maybe, you can try to do some physical activity in the morning or in the evenings when it's cool. But when it's
mm,
definitely at the peak heat times, I would recommend that you stay home in air conditioning.
mm. Now, we talk about heat stroke, right? I know your medical term today because you're always going to teach us a term is stroke. So is heat stroke related to like a stroke?
No, it's actually not. So stroke is a completely different thing. So when we talk about stroke, we're talking about not getting enough oxygen to your brain. So your brain tissue, if it doesn't receive enough oxygen for a certain amount of time, we usually say like 6 minutes, you can develop permanent brain damage, which is what a stroke is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so and the stroke is connected to heart health too, right?
So when we say heart disease, we say the whole cardiovascular system, which includes the blood vessels going to the brain as well as the heart. So cardiovascular disease typically includes stroke because of the blood vessels. Yes.
Okay. So now everything we're talking about for a heart healthy and fun summer can help your heart. Like if we're saying activity, we're going to get to diet because we always talk about food. You may have your ice cream a little bit, but you don't want the whole, ice cream store.
Yeah.
That's it. But all of that can actually help. So in regards to prevention of heart disease, that is prevention of stroke too, right? So when we talk about these healthy lifestyle habits.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Now let's talk about food. Because I think we always like the fun factor, but I feel like a picnic, a picnic in a park with your friends and family, loved ones, even if companies, corporate America, do some fun stuff with your employees. I think more companies are getting better about having a healthy office, a healthy work life, and looking at, okay, we're going to do things as a company that, they're putting in gyms and things like that, which I think is really cool for the employees. So, because you don't want to stress your employees out so much that they
Right.
do.
Right.
So I like that part of it. So the fun though, obviously summer is fun, whether you're at the pool, if you're at the beach with your friends. But a picnic, let's talk about the food part. So what would you say we need to be careful because the barbecue thing starts happening? This is where the naughty stuff happens, I think. It's the
Right.
barbecue because here comes the meat, here comes
Yeah.
the desserts, the ice creams, and in between, I think the person getting started at the barbecue cooking often starts with the beer nice and early in the morning as a start. And by the evening, they're probably, gone through way more than they expected. And the temperatures are rising, and they think, well, I've got liquid. Beer is mostly water. I think I've told Nancy that before. I'm just saying, and she looks at me and she goes, no. Um, so can we get fooled a little bit on these days and just kind of get swept away too much?
Yeah, I mean there are lots of healthy choices for outdoor picnics. I know we always talk about the Mediterranean diet, but some of the things that you can eat would be vegetables. Grilled vegetables are always a great idea. Putting grilled vegetables on skewers
Mm,
instead of you know the proteins that come from meat or animal protein. It's we say that plant proteins tend to be healthier for you than animal protein. So you can look at things like, grilled vegetables on the skewers. In terms of whole grains, you always want to get you want to eat more whole grains and avoid the carbohydrates that are refined. We talk about the white breads. You want to pick the brown breads, or you want to pick quinoa, brown
mm.
rice, and those brown pasta, wheat pasta. So the whole grains tend to be healthier for you. So I would say you can grill vegetables. You can have sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes actually has a good
Ooh,
source of vitamins and micronutrients, which are excellent for the heart. So you can pick things like that and try to avoid the proteins that are come from an animal source, and eat
okay.
more of the proteins that come from the plant source because that's healthier for your heart.
Now, what about is chicken and pork better than red meat or and
I would say
fish?
fish. Fish is probably the healthiest. Fish, especially the oily fish, have the omega-3 fatty acids, which are oils that are great for the heart. So fish is definitely healthier than animal fat or animal proteins, because animal protein tends to have the denser fat, saturated fats is what we call it, and that's what causes the clogging of the arteries of your heart and the heart attacks. Whereas the oily fish has the omega-3 fatty acids, which is actually good for you. They're the healthier fats for you.
I heard that beets are really good for your heart as an antioxidant. That
Yes.
that's, yeah. I don't,
Yeah. So we always say that the fruits and vegetables that have the deep colors, like the reds of the beets, the deep orange and the yellow, they tend to have a
Mm.
lot more micronutrients. So things like spinach, peaches, carrots, beets. So those with the deep colors are rich with micronutrients, which are good for the heart. So yeah, I would say that beets are a good idea in your salad. Have you ever had a
Yeah.
beet salad before?
Yeah, yeah. I am pickled now. Then we're going to get naughty because of the salt, right? So just
Yeah.
actually, okay, okay.
Yes, you want to
Well,
you want to lay off the salt. If you do have, heart disease, or if you have hypertension, you want to lay off the salt. We always say you should have less than 2,300 milligrams, which is about 1 teaspoon of salt a day. And if you do have heart disease, like heart failure, you want to decrease that to about 1,500 milligrams, which is 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, because salt then leads to retention of water. And if you have heart failure, it causes you to retain more water, um, and you just are not
mm,
able to get rid of the fluid, which then leads to uh, issues with breathing and accumulation of fluid in your lung, and what we call heart failure exacerbation and pleural effusions. But yeah, so salt is bad in cardiovascular disease.
wow. Okay. So I love this because, when we're thinking about picnics, we're often doing sandwiches. There's often some kind of salad kind of thing going at a barbecue. But there are so many things like you're saying, and you use spinach as a salad, your
Yeah,
greens or kale and
yeah.
things like that. And watch the salad dressing. Try and do it yourself. The
Yes,
sa-
yes, and yeah, absolutely. You don't have to always use salt to increase the flavor of food. There's so many other spices that you can add to your meals that can make it more tasty and doesn't have
Mm,
so much salt in it. So you can do a salad dressing. You can put whatever spices you want with the olive oil, which is one of the better fats to have because it's polyunsaturated fatty acids.
mm.
And yeah, and spice it up. There's so many spices out there that you can put in your food to
Mm,
enhance the taste. That's not salt, which is bad for you.
mm. And you so fruit is okay, like you were saying, peaches and things like that. That's okay to do.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
fruits and vegetables are okay to do. And yeah, substituting more the protein, the animal proteins,
Hmm.
substituting more fruits and vegetables for that, it will be a healthier choice.
Exactly. And you can do so much with that. And then it
Yes,
makes the picnic, it's kind of, I think if it's a family and stuff or even friends, you can all communicate about who's making what, right? And
absolutely.
and try to go like, hey, I'm on this heart healthy diet, can we all kind of work towards that, Um, and even when it comes to desserts, I mean, you can freeze fruit and a little ice cream is okay though, just a little, right? Just
Yes,
a
a little.
little.
Absolutely. Everything in moderation is good. You just don't want to overindulge. That's
Mm.
always the problem is once you start eating, it gets so difficult to stop. But yeah, if you can just make sure you cut out small portions so that you're not overly indulging, that's perfectly fine.
That's cool. What is your ultimate fun summer day for you, Dr. Jackie? Taking a break because I know you're really busy doing all kinds of cardiovascular procedures. And, she's a cardiologist and she zaps people because she's the electrophysiologist. She brings us back to life. And all she
That's
really wants is for us to, get her to be preventative. So
yeah,
change our lifestyle because, as she always says, 80% of how our bodies are handling things. We can turn it around by 80% and really reduce the risk by 80%
absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
getting heart disease. And that's for men and women. It is the most deadliest disease we can have is
Absolutely.
heart disease. So over summer, it's kind of a nice way. It's a nice time to get your body back into shape and enjoy it and make positive habits that are fun that you're going to stick to,
Absolutely.
I think.
Yes.
But what's your favorite day? Summer, a day
My
to
favorite
actually
day. Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, so I don't live too far from the beach. I'm walking distance from the beach. So A wonderful summer day for me would be, if I have some time, go to the beach in the morning when it's cool and it's quiet, and I just walk on the beach and I listen to, some of my meditation tapes or something spiritual, and listen to the waves crashing along the on the ocean, and drinking a
Mm,
cup of coffee. That to me is like the perfect thing to do in the summertime, although I don't have a lot of time to do that. But when I do have time, man, it's just a very relaxing way for me to just come down to earth and just be at one with myself and my spirit and my body.
mm. And coffee. So now, wait a minute. Do you do iced coffee? And you're not, I mean, there's a limit on coffee, isn't there, too?
Well, black coffee, I mean, it depends on what kind of, heart condition you have. If you have what we call arrhythmias, where your heart beats really fast, maybe caffeine is not good for you. But other than that, I mean, it's okay to have at least, a cup of coffee a day. And a lot of the studies are not showing really any detrimental effects on your heart drinking one cup of coffee. Now, if you start adding all this extra cream and sugar, then we're talking about something completely different. But, a cup of coffee a day is okay. And I usually like it warm because in the mornings, it's cooler on the beach. And
Mm,
so it's, it's nice for me to just drink a cup of warm black coffee and just
mm.
take a walk on the beach. Yeah.
I'm with you on that, man. That sounds
Yeah.
good. It really
Yeah.
does. And listen, here's the thing. If I don't have my cup of coffee in the morning, it's not good to society, you know. It's
I
not
would
good for
agree
the
with
rest of
that.
the world. If you want me to be nice, that's all I need, then I just have to, but there is something about having a calm start to your day where you gather your
Yes.
thoughts and have
Yes.
those internal moments that kind of sets the tone
The
of the
tone.
day.
Yeah,
If you start it off hectic, it's not going to be happy, and that's when stress starts. But if you take
absolutely.
those moments, I always believe, even if you have to get up at 4 or 5, you get up and have those little moments to yourself,
Yes,
especially
yourself.
busy parents. Oh my gosh, you need
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
need your
No, I
me
would
time.
agree. Yes, I would
Mm,
agree with that. Yes, I would agree with that. So if you can find something that, relaxes you, keeps you calm, grounded, then I would say by all means do that and make
mm,
time to do it, because that's always a difficult time, making time to do those things. But
mm.
it's important for your well-being that you make time to do those things.
And take time to do something new that's fun, a new hobby, go
Oh yeah.
surfing. I mean, if you haven't gone
Yes.
surfing, try that.
Try that.
That
Yeah.
kind of
Or,
things.
or
I know you love
pickleball. Yeah.
pickle. What is this about pick? Have you tried pickleball?
I haven't, but I keep getting these invitations to do this, and I just haven't done it yet.
I
But it
just,
seems like that's what everybody's doing these days.
it's all
But
over. Well, I know a lot of retired folks do it, and
yeah,
but that's if you're out there and being active that way and see, that's the thing. You're having fun, but your body is working and doing
working
movement, and
exactly.
it doesn't feel like work. It's not something on the treadmill going, go faster. Dr. Jackie's coming running after you. That's not fun, unless that's some people love it. So, everybody's different. But like, yeah, I
Right.
mean, I'll play pickleball and not know that, hey, you did exercise. I need it. Yeah, I need it to be, camouflaged. Exercise must be camouflaged. You go for a hike and I'm enjoying it all. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wow, I really moved the body. And hiking is fantastic. And there's trails everywhere that
Yes.
are
Oh,
flat and
absolutely.
easy, accessible, so you don't
Absolutely.
have to overexert. So there's so much. Summer is fun. Let's do something
Yes,
new. Hey, one
absolutely.
summer I learned how to play cornhole, and you wouldn't think you do move your body for it a little bit,
I
because you
don't know
have
what
to
that
visit.
is.
Um, it is like a plank with a hole in it, and you throw a bag of corn into the hole. It's
Oh,
some. It's kind of like a raised thing. They do it at wineries, and it's like a whole American thing. I mean, I always thought it was funny. I didn't know. We had a friend from Kentucky. She would come on shows and she'd say, and with a really big accent, she would like, we're playing cornhole tournaments, and we'd get the giggles. We're like, what do you mean? You said cornhole. I can't believe you said that. And then somebody went and asked her, why do Nancy and I get the giggles about cornhole? And she says, oh, they're from California. So, but then finally, when we were in Michigan with some friends and I learned how to play cornhole, and then I got all into it and got a little competitive about it. But as much as I was competitive, I wasn't good at it. But I was all like, if they had left that out there, all like if once everybody went home and left that set up there, I would have continued doing this all night to perfect it. I
Oh,
was getting a
yeah.
little weird. But anyway, it's healthy, it's fun, and it's
It
good for
sounds
you.
like it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds,
one of my friends, she does yoga on the beach every day in the mornings.
that's nice. Now
I'm
that's
like,
nice.
I'm like, that has got to be like one of the coolest gifts that you can give to your body is just relaxing with the waves moving, doing
Yeah,
nice, slow yoga
yeah.
meditations.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree with
Oh, I'm
that.
feeling better just on
Me
this
too.
podcast with you. I'm
Me
going to go outside and
too.
stretch. Okay.
Yes,
This
me
is
too.
great.
Life can get so stressful sometimes, I tell you.
Hmm.
God, it can get stressful. We just have to make the time to do all these things.
Well, I'm glad
Absolutely.
we're talking about heart healthy summer and having fun because some people get hot and bothered, right?
Yeah.
And so as
Yes.
temperature raises up, it's important to step aside. If you like
Yes.
working, if your career, we're going to be covering this on a show this month too about, if you're working in a hot kitchen for your living and if your career is out in the fields, if you're, in construction, make sure you take those breaks. Don't mess with it, man, because the heat
Yes.
will get you, and that's not
Absolutely.
fun.
No, no,
So,
no. And I would also recommend staying very well hydrated, drinking lots of water, especially if you're working outside, so that you can avoid the heat stroke,
mm,
which is when your body really overheats and
mm.
it can cause problems to your organ system. So stay well hydrated. If it's really, really hot, I would say stay indoors, in air conditioning. If you don't have to go out, don't go out.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Dr. Jackie. Always fun to chat with you. Happy summer to you. We'll talk soon.
Yes,
We'll talk next month.
absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful summer or
You too.
day. All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for joining us on Big Blend Radio's Heart Healthy Living Show with Dr. Jackie. New episodes air every second Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can keep up with Dr. Jackie at womenandheartdiseasebook.com. Listen to the shows at bigblendradio.com.